Hey gang, it's Rudder. Joe here. I got the torque box, one of the torque boxes in the car. I got the left side in. That thing is a pain in the butt. It looks pretty clean right now as far as the ground, but that's because I cleaned up. But as I was trimming on this thing, I had so much stuff in there, it looks like I killed a tin man. But anyway, these things are a pain in the butt to put in. It's not necessarily, I don't think, well, half of it is the car, but the other half is the quality of the parts. I got them from CJ Pony Parts. It's nothing bad against CJ Pony Parts at all. They just sell the stuff. But these torque boxes are just weren't made correctly. Unfortunately, and I've already cut them a little bit, so I can't send them back. Nor would I really, because it's just as easy for me to modify it. Because you never know what I might get back, or if I send them back, what I might get. Anyway, let me pop one of these off, or pop that one off real quick. I did the. I put it on one side. Up here. I put it on one side. I'm gonna walk from the camera. I did a little modifying to the body itself, and I'll talk you through that. But the torque box is gonna do. They came on convertibles to strengthen the car because obviously it didn't have a roof. So the torque box is actually add strength on the front of the car. They also had a pan that bolted between the seats too. I'm not going to put that on this car. I don't think it's necessary right now because I got separate connectors. I'm going to do some other stuff, but I wanted to put torque boxes in the car, as you guys know. Let me pop this thing off, and then I'll show you. Actually, before I pop it off, let me go ahead and take the camera, and I'll show you what I'm going to have to do to this thing as I sit in the car. It's kind of sitting square right now. There's a gap right here, as you can see. Got my light. I got my better camera, by the way, so hopefully you can see this. There's a gap right here. There's also a brace that goes between here and here. I'm going to add that later. But for now, I mean, this is a lot of modification just getting this put in. It went in there pretty easy after I made the cuts, and I'll show you on the other side. I took a paint marker, and I drew out where I got to cut off. But this is how it sits in the car. There's a flange here on this side. I'm going to weld to. I'm going to probably drill, spot weld it. There's a bolt that goes here. Also the flange here. And when I take you off, I'll show you the holes that I drilled here, and it also welds here. I'm not going for the resto look because obviously the coupe didn't have torque box to begin with. But normally they're spot welded here. They're spot welded underneath, and I'll show you that. And they had like 3 stitch welds here and here. They're spot welded the car. But I'm not going for the resto look. This is just going to be for strength and add rigidity to the car, because I just might put a roll bar in it later. But for right now, I just want to add these and some other strength stuff. So let me get the shaky cam going here. And I'll show you underneath the car what I'm going to have to do to the torque box. I mean, it's a worthwhile mod. Don't get me wrong. It is a worthwhile mod, but this torque box here is going to be a pain. Plus, there's some stuff I'm going to have to deal with the car. So bear with me. I'm going to grab my light too. So, and I put in a new light right there. I'm gonna replace all the lights. I bought it from Home Depot. I'm going to put 4 more in this garage too. They're pretty good little lights. All right, sorry for the shaky cam. I'm kind of OCD about this car, so I want the parts to fit right. But as you see, there's a gap. Get my light here and get my camera. There's a gap right here. And granted, it looks like there's a gap there, but there's not really much of one. Not enough to worry to make up that gap right there. So what I have to do is I think I'll have to make a pie cut on bottom of this here, this where that drain hole is, and to get that body mount, this piece here, to mount up against the frame rail. So I'll have to cut inside here, but I'll pull this off real quick, and I'll show you what I did to get this torque box to fit. That looks like a big gap right there, but I guarantee you, I mean, it's not at all. In fact, if I can hide the light, if I can do 2 things at once, if I can hold the light at the camera, I mean, my finger can't even fit in there. So I think it's the way the torque box is made. because it's flush here, it's flush on this side, and the gap right there, and then of course a huge gap right there. I can probably fit my finger in that thing. I mean, that's a good 1/2 inch gap right there. It may be the floor pan of the car, but I don't know. It's pretty square. Some other things I found out. I have to do both sides here. I'm gonna have to cut the floor pan and pound it down and re-weld this, because apparently I didn't do it when I initially stuck the floor pans in this car. Because I want it square here. I mean, I'm really OCD about this. So let me get on this side here. Same on this side. If you can see it or not, let me turn the camera around just in case so I can see what I'm doing here. I'm gonna have to do the same to there. I'm gonna fill in that gap because I want this car strong, because what the engine I'm gonna put in it. For those of you who don't know, I'm putting a Stroker Windsor 427 in here, and I want the car to be strong. I don't want it to be flexing, making noise, all that kind of crap. So let me go ahead and get out from underneath here. Sorry about the shaky cam again, but I'm gonna go ahead and put you on the tripod mount, and I'm gonna pop this. I'll pop this off and I'll show you what I'm going to have to do to it. And I'll take you to the other side too. But I mean, all in all, I think it's a worthwhile mod for sure for these cars, especially if you're putting something with some horsepower and torque in these cars, because they're just unibodies and old at that. So I think it's a worthwhile mod. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining on the people who sold the parts. They just sent me one I'm going to have to mod. One I'm going to have to fix up a little bit, but give me a second here. Again, I'm gonna apologize for the shaky cam. I'm still getting the garage set up, but my therapy is working on the car. So give me just a second here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pop the torque box off. And I'm trying to do it without the toe board. Without removing the toe board, but I think I'm going to have to take this thing apart. We'll have to bust it apart and cut it short. That's pretty good. Those things are pretty tight, which is good. Twist you around to the bench. And there's the other torque box right there. That's the passenger side, but there's the driver's side. What I'm gonna have to do, I think, I'm gonna have to pie cut this, probably here, all the way down like this to make up that gap. I don't think I'll have to go all the way. Paint dry it out, but anyway, you get the picture. I think we'll have to pie cut here, cut this, and then I'm going to push this here. Another thing I discovered that I wish I would have really paid attention to it, but this piece was not put on there even. I think obviously they're just two pieces spot welded together, but what I did is that you still see how it's a little bit off right there where my finger is. I know I painted it black, but it was worse on this side. So what it is, I just cut it to this flange here, and I think it was twisted when it was spot welded on, so I think that's my problem. But again, I think to correct that is I'm gonna have to pie cut it so this will fit. This will twist up against the frame rail. There's the other one. What it is, that's the passenger side. Yeah, I spray painted the inside of these just to protect it, because it's going to go against the body. I'm going to put drain holes. You notice this one has a drain hole. That one has a drain hole right there. I'm going to have to do the same to this because I don't want anything just coming out. So I'm going to put a drain hole here. Actually, this one is still cut off. I haven't messed with this one. But you can see how it is off right there. So more than likely I have to do the same thing with this too. Or the car could be twisted, I don't know. It could be the car. But it's pretty weird. I was putting these torque boxes in, and it was balancing on 3 jack stands. So it was pretty wild. The car's pretty solid, but it was just weird out. But I got the torque box in, and I rolled underneath the car, and I hit the jack stand, and it pushed out from underneath the car. So the car's pretty square, but then again, it doesn't have any weight in it. Let me take you to the other side real quick, and I'll show you what needs to be cut off. I know this video is getting long. It's already 10.5 minutes. But I think it's necessary for the guys who are putting torque boxes in their car. That'll be a good one for you. All right, let's go to the other side. And sorry about it being black. I haven't stripped the 415 off yet. All right, if you see there, as bad as this light is, this is the passenger side. You see where I paint marked right there. That everything I paint marked has to come off. There. That flange there. And that's pretty much it. I also probably have to cut off right where the hook is. A little bit there to square it up. But yeah, it's that flange has to come out. Let's go ahead and look at the other side where I ground out. You can see. Let's set the light back up here now. Sorry about this. But this is what it looks like. What I had to grind out. I just did it just because I'm going to weld to it anyway. I cut the flange off here. This is a frame rail flange. I cut the flange off there. I also ground, because I'm going to be welding, of course, so I grounded this paint off. And I also squared this up and ground a little bit off here too. I had to take the flange off on this side. You can't really tell, like I showed you on the other side of the flange. And I also have to cut the toe board because the torque box, there's the lip, and I'll show you that in a second. The lip goes underneath and inside the car. So you have to cut a slit. And I just cut mine at the flange. I just took a grinder and just ground it inside there. And it's a bad fold on my torque box, so that's why the gap is a little wide. But I think I'll be able to fill it inside the car. I also ground off here because I'm going to spot weld it here. And I'm going to spot weld it here too. Get a better picture, a better shot of down here what I did. But every couple inches I just drill some holes for the flange on the other side. And the inside of the car, I got some rust right there, issues I want to deal with. We'll have to take care of that. I'll probably get some sheet metal, and I'm just gonna take it from here all the way across and down, and I'm gonna ground that crap flat. That's a snot weld. This used to be a gall welder. My welder used to be gall before I converted to gas, so yeah, I was learning. But anyway, I'm gonna cut this all the way across here because this metal, it's pretty flimsy. You can move it pretty good. But there's the gap. You have to get a little goofy here a second. No light, but I'm going to show you the gap that I cut. This is where the toe board fits in. I guess I should have showed you that before I took the toe board out. But the flange, I'll show you on the toe board, or on the torque box itself. That flange comes in through here. And you can probably see where it's sitting anyway. But it does come up, and then you got to pound it. I'm going to drill some holes in it and then spot weld it back here. Let's go look at the torque box and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This flange right here goes inside the car. And then this sits on the bottom of the car, right here. And this sits against the toe board, here and here. But again, I'll have to slice mine to get it to fit. As you notice, I saw the gap at the beginning of the video. Yeah, so I'm going to do that tomorrow. And I won't take you, I'll take you through the installation process. I won't take you through when I cut this, because hopefully this is right. Hopefully I'll install this and this will be a lot quicker. Hopefully this is a little better made than this side. But yeah, again, this goes inside the car. That's why you got to cut that rail off on the other side. But making progress, guys. Making progress. Little bit counts. Pick up my creeper here so I don't slip and fall on this thing. Oh, Jeff from James Freddy, buddy, I got your video. For those of you who don't know or may have known, there's Jeff of James Freddy fame did I think it was a 68 Firebird. It was like a gold, I forget the exact color, but it was like a copper color. Man, that thing was fantastic. He did a few videos on some of his older stuff. Well, the dude was in the Air Force, and he was stationed with me at Spangdahlem, and he took it to the car show, and I was speechless. So, Jeff, I'm gonna put that video up. I'm gonna apologize right off the bat because I was so excited. I called you James Freddy, so I know your name's Jeff, but I just apologize beforehand for that. But anyway, guys, I'll post that video up. But this is a monster. Yeah, but I'll bring it back when it's in. I'll weld it all in, get it all together stuff, and then I'll do the other side. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and thanks for keeping me motivated and all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys later.